Oh, excuse me for one moment. Well, good evening, darlings, and a very warm welcome indeed to Saturday Night Live, the last of this week's two later ones, where we go right through midnight, effectively into the wee small hours of the morning. Tomorrow, it's Sunday, a day of rest. We'll be back to a much more civilized 11 p.m. start. But hey, for the meantime, let's enjoy our late Saturday night together, shall we? Maybe some midnight snacks, a cheeky beverage of some nature, and of course, we've got each other's company for the next 58 or so minutes where all of the normal things will apply. I would love to hear how your day has gone, what you've been up to. I always need to know what you've been eating. Of course, that goes without saying. I would love to hear if something has almost but not quite fallen on your head, or if you got into an argument with a stranger, or if you have committed a crime today and jolly well got away with it. I'd love to hear about all of that. And of course, we have got the Hedgehog of Truth with his companion. We've got a box that's going to get a right old pounding, darlings, if I can grab hold of the pound. There it is. Look, there's the pound ready for the pounding. And last but by no means least, we have got a community portable electric telephonic device, darlings. Ah, yes. And on that, you could, should you so wish, leave a voice note. Why not? Bring some joy to the community. I'm on the edge of a sneeze and thought so. Right then, darlings, it's been a very busy night at the restaurant. Oh, oh, oh. I was about to say I'm more than ready for a glass of wine. I'm actually more than ready for bed, but I'll have a few glasses of wine first and a bit of supper, darlings. Yes, a bit of supper. So, and then as soon as I've had a goodly slurp of my wine, I shall dive knee deep into your comments, which are, of course, and I never hesitate to reinforce this, which are, of course, the meat and potatoes of this packet of salt and vinegar crisps that we are currently trying to keep ourselves warm in. So, cheers, your very good health, bottoms up yours, and get stuffed. Oh, yes. Oh, wine. It really is the gift that keeps on giving. Who have we got with us tonight? First cab off the rank, Jimmy Quinn. Good evening, Boaty and all. Followed by Peter P. Mark Passad. Good evening, chat. I think this is the earliest I've ever been to a live stream. The headmistress, the fabulous. Sorry, darling, I'm going to have to blow my snot again. Whatever this wretched lurgy is, it's properly hanging about, and we have got a voice note already from the lovely Simone. Oh, that's something for us to look forward to, isn't it? Yes, Diane Sturdy is with us and says, "Good evening, lovely friends." Um, oh, now then, yes. Um, uh, oh, gosh. Right. Thank you. Shelley Denise is with us and says, "Good evening, all." HW100 or HW100 or HW100 is with us and says, "Good evening, Boaty and all." Then there are lots and lots of hellos flying left, right, and centre. The fabulous Richard is with us, Paulie Galdieri. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and Boaty. Simone is with us. Hello, one and all. Uh, who else have we got? Oh, Matron's here. Evening, everyone. Good old Matron. We love Matron, don't we? And Matron greets everybody by name. Good evening, Boaty and magnificent entourage, says the one and only Stratospherian. What a joy, joining us all the way from Denmark, isn't it? Oh, right. Pouring wine on poor Hedgie, I didn't, did I? God, I'd hate to waste a drop of this by spilling it. It's good stuff, I tell you. Oh, that really is nice. Bad Books is with us. Good evening, all. Good evening to you, Mark. Andrew Buttigieg joins us and greets everybody by name, as he usually does. Lots more hellos. Now we're getting on to some food news. Peter P, who eats well. He eats very well. Today's dinner was meatballs in gravy with mash and lingonberry jam. Now, I'm jealous of that. I haven't had meatballs for ages and ages and ages and ages and ages and ages, especially not with lingonberry jam. I think the last time I had that, I was in IKEA in Nottingham. That would have been a long time ago. I was with the artist formerly known as Mrs. Boaty on that occasion. Yes, I was, wasn't I? My goodness gracious me. And I remember that they were delightful. Oh, meatballs in gravy with mash and lingonberry jam. I want that now. Or faggots and mash. Oh, God, wonderful faggots from a butcher's. Haven't had those for ages either. Lunch today, I treated myself to a small cooked breakfast. I had two sausage, or saucisson, if you prefer, two sausages. I had one hash brown. I had a few baked beans. I had the yolks of two fried eggs, half a tomato. Oh, and a fried slice. I went mad and had a fried slice. God, it was good as well. And tomorrow's lunch is going to be garlic and mustard roast chicken, Yorkshire pudding, fresh green beans, baby potatoes. Oh, that might be it actually. Potatoes, beans. Oh, and chipolata sausages. I'm going to have two pieces of chicken, two chipolata sausages, two potatoes, one Yorkshire pudding, several beans, and of course some nice white wine gravy. Oh, a telephonic call. How exciting! Good evening, Mystery Sean James Cameron.
Live from the valleys is lovely for you.
How are you, mate?
Just a quick call, just to thank you for all the advice to you and Carol last week as I was out and about looking at cars.
Not a problem. It was somewhat conflicting, wasn't it?
Well, I will leave that for you to have a discussion with everybody else afterwards. But
how's it going? How's it going?
Haven't been out in it today.
Okay.
But I was out in it yesterday, and I'm finding that, and in tomorrow's video I talk about this, where when you leave the house and you go and do your bit of shopping, it usually take me 2 hours just to get down to the high street, do shopping, have a chat, then come home.
Yeah.
So I did exactly the same this week, and I was surprised I got home within an hour.
Okay.
But I'm starting to see the place in a different light, about where the potholes are, where sleeping policemen are, where you can't park, where you can park.
Yes. Well, let's talk about the adventures. What have you got planned, or what would you love to do, or what are you thinking of?
Well, I'm going over to Hirwine, maybe tomorrow, depending on the weather, because apparently there's a storm coming.
Okay.
So I may be going over there to a garden centre. But the first place I'm definitely going to go and visit is the South Wales Miners Museum, which is over in the Avon Valley.
What, St. Fagans?
No. This is a little museum which was set up by the miners.
Okay.
back in the 70s or the 80s, and I remember it, but it's changed apparently. And you could go into this building, and they had recreated going underground.
Ah, right.
And there was a plastic horse there, showing the horses pulling the drums. And then as you walked around the museum, you came across a typical Welsh kitchen scene
Okay.
with the tin bath in front of the fire. Now I've got a picture of this, and they tell me that over the years it's changed, and now it looks like a very bad version of Madame Tussauds, where the faces don't look like faces.
Oh, really?
So it'll be a bit disappointing to see it, but at least I've still got a picture of what it was like 40 years ago to show it in its heyday. But it's just run on a voluntary basis, so you can't complain not that much.
Okay. Oh, that sounds good. And that is a bit like St. Fagan's, isn't it? Where they had all of the houses done out as they were back in the day.
Well, I was going to go there next week, but apparently, because I want to show off the little houses where, like you said, each house represents like 100 years.
Yeah, yeah.
But apparently that's closed for the time being.
Oh.
So I don't think I'll be going to St. Fagan's for quite a few weeks. But the long trip I've got is I want to go to the National Botanic Gardens.
Oh, okay.
Because I did a job for them 20 years ago, but I've never actually seen it in situ.
Right.
So I've got no idea whether it's still there or not. But I will be going to see that. But it's funny you should mention food, because I've just stopped filming tomorrow's video, where I recreate my childhood favorite meal.
Oh, is this the one that you were talking about in the other video?
Yes.
Yes, right. Okay, go on. Give us a sneak preview.
Well, it was the meal that I used to have because I didn't stay in school for meals. So I had to go home, and I went to my grandmother's, and it was either sausage or fish fingers.
Okay.
But it was one of those packets of assorted veg, with all the cubes of the carrots and everything.
Yeah.
And then it was creamy potatoes, which was mashed potatoes, but made with a bit of butter and milk.
Yeah.
Mashed it all up, but served using an ice cream scoop.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah. No, we used to have that at school. That's what we had at school.
Right.
So you had...
Because I've never heard of anybody else experiencing this.
No. We had it at school. It was you got a perfect half a tennis ball of mashed potato, except it wasn't creamy. It was hard and lumpy. But that was totally a thing when I was a kid. It was always the it was always mashed potato. Not at not at home. Never had it at home, but certainly at school or even in the local cafe. It was always served in with an ice cream scoop.
And then what I'd like to do as a bit of a twist is to put a dollop of mayonnaise into it.
Interesting.
To give it that creaminess.
Yeah, I like putting horseradish in mine to give it a little bit of a kick.
I think I've only ever tried that once, and I wasn't a fan of it.
Yeah, I'm just amazed you haven't put mint sauce in there.
Well, I did think about it, but then I thought, I don't want to spoil it. And for the sake of the fact that I was filming it, I was trying to stick to the original. But I did make broth 2 days ago, and it was absolutely wonderful.
Was it?
And I don't know what I did different. Well, I used a vegetable stock cube. But I think it might have been the cut of the meat, because when I went to go and buy the lamb on Friday, he said, I've only got lamb steaks. And I said, I'll have them. And for cow, you're supposed to be using the cheap end of the lamb.
Yeah, but that's born out of necessity, isn't it?
But I have never, and obviously a tablespoon of mint sauce as well. But I've never, it was the best dish that I've ever made.
Really?
So I thought I might try and recreate it next week. because I'm trying to teach myself how to just cook for one. Because
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I cook, there's enough to eat for 4 days, and then you get fed up after like 3 days of eating the same thing.
Well, I suppose it depends what it is, but what I've always done is I batch cook and portion freeze. So if I make a chili con carne or a spaghetti bolognese or whatever, then I'll put it into 4 or 5 portions. One will be for the there and then, and then the others go individually in Tupperware into the fridge. And then I've got a home cooked meal, and all I've got to do is pop it in the pan and defrost it, or pop it in the microwave.
Yes, when I lived in London, the kitchen on a Sunday was busy because that's what everybody else was doing. But it's something that I've never got into, because when I've tried it, you then forget what you've got. And then you go back in the freezer 6 months later and you think, right, is this leek soup or is this potato and something else?
You're an amateur. You're an amateur. Hold on there. Let me show you.
Let me get the picture up on screen. There you go.
Right. So you have your thing. You have it individually Tupperware, and you put the date on it with a Sharpie, so you can eat the things in order. And if it's not recognizable, you write what it is on there. Simple.
But then, so do you just throw that into a pan and then just, or because I can't really plan, or do you think, oh, I'll have that this evening, so I'll bring it out to the freezer this morning?
No. It goes in frozen. Pop it into the pan frozen, and just put it on a low light. It's only 4 or 5 minutes. If it's a liquid based thing, it's only 4 or 5 minutes on a low light, and it's done. And you're probably gonna be preparing something fresh to go with it, whether it's rice or pasta or mashed potato. So it just defrosts in the pan, defrosts and cooks at the same time while you're doing the fresh stuff. Or you can just do it in the microwave, and then it's 2 minutes.
All right, I might give that a go when I do the cowl again next week. But one meal I want to do, which I haven't done yet, is hot pot. Now, the way my grandmother did it, I don't know if this is the official way. It was basically potato, corned beef, and you just did that until the pan was full.
Oh God, that sounds horrendous.
It was beautiful.
I told you about my experience with corned beef, didn't I? That the South Walian version of spaghetti bolognese was corned beef in Heinz tomato soup.
Sounds
beautiful. You said you'd never done that. But it was totally a thing. Rod had it when he was a kid. Rod Gilbert, Chris Corcoran, he had it when he was a kid. Totally a thing. You obviously came from a posh family.
Well, just one thing before I go. Today, it was 12 degrees. And it actually feels like spring is about to come.
I know. Isn't it great? I filmed a bit in the garden this morning, and my daffodils are always late. But everything is starting to come through in the garden. The daffs are coming through. Many different things, I don't actually know what they are starting to come out into bud. And yeah, driving to work tonight, there were blue skies. I mean, I know the weather's going to go pants again over the next week or so, but we've had that glimpse of spring now, haven't we? And
somebody's told me that there's snow coming.
Oh well, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I normally have a late weather event here in March, but sod it. 1st of March, St. David's Day. That is it. There are signs in the garden. We're getting the longer days now, and we've had some blue sky, and yeah, we've had some double-figure temperatures. So I'm starting to feel optimistic.
It's a bit like that old song, isn't it? Blue skies around the corner.
Yeah. Now, one very important question for you.
Go on.
Does the car have a name?
No, it's just going to be called Car.
Called what?
Car. Because even when I had a cat, it was just called Cat.
Okay. Okay.
I was going to call it the rusty car, but I think that might be tempting fate.
Yes, quite possibly.
But I've just put an AirTag in the car, in fact.
A which?
An AirTag.
What the hell's that?
It's these little, like pound coins that you can put anywhere. And if it starts to travel out of your circle, the phone then tells you.
Oh, okay.
Sort of, because I had it on my luggage when I went on holiday. I've got one attached to my bike, and then you can track where it's been, in case somebody tries to pinch it. But I was just thinking, seeing according to the comments, everybody has got this car. So I thought, right, well, if it's a common car, then it's probably quite safe.
It's 110, isn't it? It's a Hyundai 110. Yeah, very, 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 very popular car.
And even though I know it's a safe place, I still have that 25 years of being in central London stuck in my head a bit.
Yeah. No, they are a cracking little car. My next door neighbour has one, and I've driven it on more than one occasion, and they're cracking little things. Absolutely cracking. You made a pretty good choice there, I would say.
Well, somebody in the comments who also watches this show asked, "Why did I pick that car?" And it's easy, because it was only this car and something else that was in my budget. There was no more thinking other than that involved.
Yeah, well, you could have. No, honestly, you could have done a hell of a lot worse. It's they're a very popular car. They're a very saleable car. They hold their value very well. They're easy to drive, enjoyable to drive, utterly reliable. So yeah, you probably couldn't have done better.
Well, the test will be whether it'll get me all the way up to the peaks or not.
Oh God, I mean, it'll get you all the way to the other side of the world. But I am very much looking forward to your visit. I will be very disappointed if I'm not one of your first ports of call.
Well, I'm actually talking to what's the name of that place just down the road?
Chatsworth?
Yes. So I know the head gardener down there. So I'm trying to suss out with him when is the best time to come film in the garden in spring.
Okay. But also, we have got to do a road trip to Llandudno, because you've never been to Llandudno, have you?
No, and I've already looked on through Google to see how far it is.
Oh,
but I will be after the corner room, because that looked quite a good one.
Oh, in the Grand?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's the celebrity room. Of course you'd be there. And I want to officially be the first to take you up the Great Orme.
Oh, wow. I'll make sure that I'm cleaned out. Right, my kettle's boiled. And I've got to go and get the cats in.
Okay, right.
In tomorrow's video, I also talk about my red pussy. So, see you at 7 tomorrow.
See you at 7.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Oh dear. I wonder if everybody got that reference. Boo used to do that. That was her subtle hint. By the way, everything's cleaned out. Right. Okay. Right. We have got voice notes and comments aplenty. Thank you, Sean. It's oh, right. Okay. I will do, Simone. I will do indeed. It's not quite midnight yet, so the next voice that you hear will be the lovely Simone. Oh no, it won't, because apparently I've put it on silent. How did I do that? It wasn't on silent. How come it's on silent now? All right, let's try that again, shall we? The next voice that you hear will be Simone.
Hello again, Mr. Boaty.
Hello.
Don't forget to pound your box. If Jimmy Tarbuck had already beaten you to your dinner, Annie'd have taken a dump in your bed. Tosser.
You see, now, do you listen to, I wonder if Simone listens to Lisa Tarbuck on Saturday night. I do. It's the only Radio 2 I listen to these days. I used to listen to more, obviously. I used to listen to Wogan, Ken Bruce, what's his name? You know, they're all dead. What's the name of the dead one that I'm thinking of? Paul O'Grady. But now there's only Lisa Tarbuck worth listening to on Radio 2, but I do listen to her. I listened to her tonight, 6 till 8. So I wonder if that was the catalyst for the Jimmy Tarbuck reference. But well done, Simone. Right, let's get that box pounded, shall we? Oh, this box is going to fund 3, 2, 1 Adventures of Plenty next year. Thank you, Simone. Right, what else have we got? I saw something else. A missed voice call. Oh, well, I can't do anything about that. That's not a voice note, is it? Right, let's get back to the comments then, shall we? Oh, we were talking about meatballs, weren't we? And I was thinking about faggots. See, I told you I'm embracing the 1st of March. Oh. That's going to get demonetized now. You're not allowed to talk about that word, I don't think, on YouTube. And what a shame. I've had a run of the live streams being monetized for a while, and I completely forgot. And I talked about those spherical, edible objects featuring offcuts of this, that, and the other. Mr. Brains. Oh, some of those with some creamy mashed potato. God, I fancy that now. Hey ho. Why does my life revolve around food? Richard says dinner was steak and chips. Chips, says Matron. Are there any plans for Monday yet, Boaty asked Matron. I have no plans whatsoever for Monday. I'll do something because I have to do something, otherwise I get depressed on a Monday. But it won't be an overnight or anything like that. I've been a bit profligate with spending money of late, darlings. So I should really be a little bit more careful, especially as after a couple of decent months, February is going to be my lowest earnings on YouTube since the channel began. So I'd better start being a little bit more sensible, hadn't I? So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do on Monday. It kind of got into unintentionally, but it got into a week on, week off thing. So I'd have a week when I'd go away and do something, and then I'd have a Monday where I'd stay at home and catch up with stuff, or stay local. So yeah, I don't know about Monday yet. I'll do something, but God knows what. And there'll be a little bit of a treat, even if it's just going out for a little drive and getting a McDonald's, because a McDonald's is a treat for me. I love a McDonald's. It's my or do you know what I would like to do, actually? Now, I haven't done this since Chinese Madam went over the hill to Liverpool. I would like to go into Sheffield city centre to Chinatown and have lunch in Chinatown. A proper, real, authentic Chinese lunch in a proper, authentic Chinese place where they don't speak English and there's nothing there in English. It's okay. I can point at things. I'd like to do that. I'd never been to Sheffield Chinatown before Chinese Madam arrived. I didn't even know it existed. But it does. There is a road in Sheffield that is pure Chinese. Every business is Chinese. Doctors, travel agents, bank, you name it. And there are some fabulous restaurants there. And it's a bit like the Milkston Road in Rochdale, in that the food is amazing, but it's quite cheap as well. So I'd love to do that one of these days. Other things that have been on the list for ages: Ringway. Um, it might be a bit cold for this at the moment, but I would love to go to the to Manchester Airport and to the museum there. You pay to park your car, and then it's free to go into the museum. You pay a little bit extra if you want to go on board Concorde, because they've got a Concorde there. But yeah, I really fancy doing this. So you go, you park up, you pay for your parking, you've got the museum, but you've also got an almighty belch. I apologise for that. But you've also got the viewing area of the runway or runways. I can't remember how many runways there are at Manchester. Is it just the one? Oh, excuse me. Honestly, can't remember. I have only flown in or out of Ringway, Manchester Airport, once. I've told you this before. I had to get out to Cyprus at very short notice. Lisa and the kids were already out there. They'd been out there a week. I needed to get out for the second week, and it was the week when we were going to buy the house. And literally, the only flight I could get on the day that I wanted to go was a Club 18 to 30 charter from Manchester. Worst flight of my life. And the only time I've flown out of Manchester, and I can't remember how many runways they've got. I think it might just be the one. In fact, it probably is, isn't it? But yeah, you've got the viewing thing there. And there is there's the Emirates doings that comes in and out on a daily basis, and I would love to see that. The what's it called? The massive grey Airbus thing. I can't remember now. You know, the double-decker, huge grey Airbus what is it? The A380? Can't remember. But I'd love to see that come in and out. I've seen it taxiing. One of the trips to Llandudno, I don't think it was the last one. I think it might have been the one before. I did see, it is the A380, isn't it? I saw it taxiing on the runway as I drove past, because when I go to Llandudno, I drive kind of through the airport. And that was quite an imposing sight, but I'd like to watch that take off or come in. Either one would be good, or both would be even better. And there's a cafe there, or I could take my cooking gear and make some momo. There were a few, non-overnighty things that are on the list. Obviously, I've never flown in an A380. Jumbo jets, plenty of them, but never the A380. It was I'd kind of stopped doing long hauls by the time the A380 came in. I used to do a lot of long hauls. I commuted from America, then there was China, and oh god. But the only relatively long haul I've done relatively recently is Vegas, and that was That was a 747 the last 2 or 3 times, I'm sure. Anyway, that's a long answer to a short question. Dinner, says Mark, was egg mayo sarnies, and tea was sirloin steak and asparagus. I'm not even going to correct that because, I'm going to accept that different people call different meals different things, but he did mean lunch and dinner rather than dinner and tea. Mark Passad is feeling very happy with a victory over Scotland in the Six Nations. I do not want to talk about the rugby. I am Welsh. I don't want to talk about the rugby. Yeah, thank you, Richard. Thank you for that. You're right, Richard. I can't say that word. I forgot. Boaty, you might get some lingonberry jam if you send Peter his bloody toast rack. Oh, it'll get there. I'll get round to it. Dry sunny day, says Mark. So started the 2 old cars for the first time since November and drove them round the block. Hope it went better with them when I took Yvette carte blanche. Changed the coolant on the MX-5, visited a National Trust property near Oundle, and walked the dogs. Oh, that sounds good. Oh, Ross joins us, a lovely dino dad. Well, good day there. Boaty, when are you going line dancing with Mustard and Steve Berry? I know nothing about this. Stu joins us, the lovely Stu. God. Oh, what are you talking about? Oh, little Joe. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. This morning's low-carb breakfast, says Ross, was scrambled eggs with spring onions. Oh, air-fried mushrooms. Eh? And Brussels sprouts with salmon, parmesan and balsamic. Brussels sprouts for breakfast. Really? Simone headed off at midnight because she's volunteering tomorrow. Mark says, I worked at a garden centre with X-Minus from Ellington Colliery, the last pit to have working pit ponies. When I left, they gave me an antique deputy's stick and it's displayed in our living room. Oh. It's nearly time to strip down and bask in the garden, says Andrew. Peter P says, wasn't Boaty planning on going frolicking in the garden? Well, yes. Oh, it's an i10, is it? Oh, right. Okay. I was close. I know they're a good car. When I used to watch, what's his name? James Chop's Garage, he was always buying them, wasn't he? Mr. Lloyd rates the i10. I've not heard a bad word about them, to be honest. The doings of Sean and Boaty. Ah, yes. Careful, Sean, says Andrew. Boaty will try and fill your boots. We're going to have a great time when Sean comes up here. Ah, I've got plans for Sean. Oh, and yeah, Jim Bob picks up on that. Chop's Garage, James, sells those cars in his sleep. Yep. Oh my God, did that just happen, says Stu. Boaty, do some Derek and Clive ad nauseum. I can do all of Derek and Clive. Believe me, I can do all of Derek and Clive, but I daren't. I love Derek and Clive. Oh my God. Oh, the M11 has joined us. Emma Lemon of the eponymous YouTube channel. Emma Lemon, check it out immediately. You won't be disappointed. Happy midnight, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Hope you're all well. We hope you are well as well. Jesus, you might as well use the N word and be done with it, says Russ. Well, I'm allowed to use that word. I'm not allowed by YouTube, obviously, but I am allowed socially, because obviously I am of that heritage. So I am allowed to use that word. I'm allowed to call myself it. I'm allowed to call my tinted brothers that word as well. But I don't do it on YouTube. It is actually a word I use in real life, if because obviously I have black friends, and yeah, it's a word I absolutely use, because I do consider myself. No, is that fair? I don't know. I've never. How can I put this? I've never been ashamed or afraid of my racial background. In fact, I kind of embrace it, and yeah, part of that is that yeah, when I'm with my black friends, I do use the N word. I use it quite a lot, actually, and I enjoy using it, and I enjoy it when people use it about me. I go full on Richard Pryor. TTFN all say, Simone, don't shit your nighty. Hope you have a good day volunteering tomorrow, Simone. Oh, you won't hear this, so you've already gone to bed. Yeah, I can't read that, bad books. Mark, I can't read that. I can't read that either, Peter P. Alan Simpson joins us. Greetings, honourable community, and Le Grand Bateau. I quite like that. Oh, now then. Did you get your passport, Boaty? Asked Emma. No, I haven't done it yet. And I need to do it, because Paul wants me to go to his place. Ram wants to go to Malta. I must do that. Right, I've got something to open here, darling, and I know what it is. I felt it. It's another watch from China. So that's handy, because I've only got one. Now I'll be able to have one for each wrist, won't I? Let's have a look at this one and compare it with the other one. Oh, very exotic. Looks like a crocodile style strap. Do you want to come out for us? Thank you very much to whoever is sending me this selection of Chinese watches, by the way. I'm very grateful. Well, this one doesn't want to come out. How do you get into the bloody thing? Not there. It's there. Oh, Christ. Oh, hang on. Ah, there we are. So, let's remind you of the original watch, which was this fine fellow here. And I now have, in addition to that, I have this one. So there you go. I can alter my watch to match with my apparel, whatever I happen to be wearing on a particular day. So thank you very much indeed to whoever very thoughtfully sent me those. I presume that's an end to it, as I have only got 2 arms. So any more watches would be de trop, if you'll forgive a little bit of French. No, you don't, Richard, and I can't read that out. Steve McDonald is with us and says, good evening, Boaty, and good evening, everyone. Alan is saying hello to Matron. Did you buy Mustard a Happy Meal? What, is that aimed at me? I haven't seen Mustard for ages. Ages. We did have a chat on the phone today. I miss Mustard. I wish he'd come and visit me, but I'm not going to the yard, not until it gets warmer. But I wish he'd come here. Emma says, I think I'm going to need to buy a passport for YouTube ID, even though I have no plans or freedom to go abroad. Well, I do have plans and freedom to go abroad. I don't have much money. I need to sort my passport. I do need to sort my passport out. Ram is really, really nagging me to go to Malta now. Yeah, I'd love to go to Paul's place in Spain. And well, I mean, it just makes sense to have your passport, doesn't it? It's the first time in my adult life that I've not had a passport. And it does feel a little bit weird. Funnily enough, when I popped into Sainsbury's today to buy some luxury toilet roll, and I won't tell you what I'm going to do with it, but you can probably imagine. Well, you all know what toilet roll is for. I was running very dangerously low. We were into the danger zone. I was about, oh, honestly, I probably had one goes worth of toilet paper left, but it would depend on, if it was a controlled one, then it would have been all right. If it was a bit uncontrolled, then I could have been in trouble. But anyway, I popped into Sainsbury's. I bought a 4-pack of the Andrex triple quilted velvet loveliness or whatever it is. And I saw that the Timpson do the proper passport photograph thing. I got Bish to take photos of me. They were rejected by passport control. So Timpson's doing. So I was thinking, where am I going to have to go to get a passport photo? Right, I can do it at Timpson's in Sainsbury's. So I'll go and do that, and then I'll get my passport. I've been sitting on my arse, says Steve McDonald, watching the plethora of boxing. Well, I've been watching a plethora of staff and customers and restaurant doings. Busy night at the restaurant tonight. So I haven't seen the boxing, except that I did manage to watch a dodgy upload on YouTube of Joseph Parker and the second round stoppage. Now, because it was a dodgy upload, you couldn't really see the punch. But yeah, that's going to be a talking point, isn't it? Oh, who won out of that was a point. I was listening to it on the way home, the Undisputed, the light heavyweight Undisputed. And the radio signal cut out, or the Wi-Fi, the 4G signal cut out, just as we were getting into the round one. So, spoiler alert, I'm going to see who won now. Yeah, that's where it cut out. Okay, so let's go back. Oh, it went the distance. And it went the other way. Oh, okay. Oh, and it was a split decision. Well, well, well. So there's going to be a third now, isn't there? You can bet it was contracted. You can bet it was contracted. And if it wasn't, the Saudis will make it happen. Oh, what was the 116, 112? That's quite wide. 115, 113, and 114, 114. Oh, okay, so. Right. Well, I'll have to catch up with that tomorrow, but no surprise that it went the distance, obviously. But So the belts have all gone back. They've all gone back the other way. Interesting. Sheffield is an awesome city, says Stu. It probably is. I don't know it terribly well. I mean, I've been to the casino a million times. Um, I was invited as a VIP guest to the some art gallery or other, and I enjoyed that night very much. That was I. That's a lie. I wasn't invited as a VIP guest. My wife was invited as a VIP guest, and I got to go with her. I was her plus one in many ways, darlings. I miss Maggie. Do you know what? Um, I don't know whether this is done on purpose or not. Maggie and I were Facebook friends after the divorce when we were still, having a relationship. And then when that finished, we stopped being Facebook friends. And I really regretted that. And I don't know whether this was done on purpose or not, but I sent her a friend's request which she didn't accept. But that means that I'm following her. And she makes certain posts public, as I do. So even though we're not Facebook friends, we do occasionally talk on Messenger, but we're not Facebook friends. And the reason for that was that, you know, there was problem with family. Oh, why are you friends with blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's none of their bloody business, but it was just too much grief. But the point is that because of the way that we did it, I still get to see certain posts. And Mags put a post up on Facebook today, spending time with the little chap that would, or should, you might say, have been my grandson. And yeah, that was quite sweet to see. That's one of the things there are many things I regret about my marriage and the things that happened. I miss Mags. I love Mags I love Mags with all of my heart and soul. If you've seen the wedding video, you couldn't doubt that. And yeah, I really miss her, and I really miss the family and everything that we worked together to do. And I really miss the fact that I'm missing out on the grandchildren phase as the you know as the kids that were my stepkids. Now they're just people, I guess. Certainly according to the law, anyway. They're having kids, and yeah, hey ho, what can you do? What can you do? Oh, hello and good evening from both of us, says the Casbah. Um, the lovely Barry and Karen. And hello to you both. Hope we don't get to hear from you so much now, but hope things are brilliant for both of you. Hope you're really enjoying your new job, Barry. Uh, I don't know, Richard. No voice note from Mr. Paddy tonight. Yep, Manchester Airport. I'm your dog, says Stu. I've got to do that. I've got to do that. A380, says Russ. Thank you. I did remember. I quite enjoyed riding the Skyway at Manchester Airport, says Alan. The giant conveyor belt that takes you around the terminals. I'd forgotten that. Oh, God. Excuse me. I remember the monorail at Birmingham Airport. Is that still there? And I remember the monorail at Merry Hill. That is not still there. Oh, now, here's a question. I mean, we're about to say goodnight, actually, but here's a question for future things. Where is there still a working monorail? Because I would like to go on one. Now, the monorails that I remember Merry Hill, Birmingham Airport, Alton Towers, Butlins Minehead, I think. Right, we need to make this a regular feature. Going forward, regular features on the old live streams. Right, what are they called? Monorails, cable cars. What cable cars still exist because they've all gone, and other things that I'll think of. Barry says the East Midlands Airport has a viewing area where the museum is, and there's a Vulcan bomber there. I need to do that as well. 2 runways at Manchester Airport, says Debbie Daydream. Oh, are there? Not heard it called Ringway for ages. Ross says the A380 is pretty cool to fly on. I've never done it. The 747 impressed me as a kid, says Richard. It impressed me as an adult. I remember the first time I flew on a 747. It was my... Do you know what? The first time I flew on a 747 was when I flew out to Chicago on that blind date. That was the first time. And as we were walking and seeing it on the WhatsApp, I thought, oh God, wow, I'm getting to go on a 747. And evening, everyone, says Debbie Daydream, and a very good evening to you. I've not seen the rugby yet. No spoilers, please, says Barry. Proper rugby league, Diane? I don't think so. I'm Welsh. And Karen says hello. Hi all, Karen here. Are we all okay? It is time to start saying good night, darlings. I am knackered, so I'm not gonna hang around. When is Sean coming, Jason? I've been catching up with his videos. I don't know, Barry. Watch this space. I don't know, but the sooner the better, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, Matron's been doing a lot of Sean recently too. Emma says, I like doing Sean in the morning with porridge. I do Sean in bed. I love doing Sean in bed. I did him in bed. When was it? It was Saturday. It was this morning, wasn't it? Was it this morning? It was. You lose track, darlings. Oh dear. Sean is now filth, and I bet he loves it. Does Boaty consider himself northern? No, I don't. No, I don't. God. Okay, Why are people sending you watches, Boaty? I have absolutely no idea. No idea at all. I'm whizzing through the comments now, darlings, because I'm really struggling now. Is Chinese Madam sending you these watches? Is it a subliminal message? No, it's definitely not Chinese Madam, because Chinese Madam knows my name and address. No, I don't know who it is, but it's a very kind thought. If I want to wear a watch now, not only can I wear a watch, but I've got a choice of watches. Chinese Madam wouldn't send me anything. Chinese Madam hates my guts. Chinese Madam will never forgive me. She's the one person that will hate me until the day that she dies. And I promise you that is true. I'm not proud of it, but I broke her heart. Oh, Ross says, I got myself a Casio calculator watch for Crimbo. I've always wanted one of those. Problem is, I press 4 buttons at the same time. Oh dear. Right, whizzing through. Is all boxing set up? Asked Diane. No, it's not. Parts of it are set up, but it's not totally set up. Diddly do, diddly do, diddly do. God, I'm struggling to keep my eyes open. Oh, there's a monorail at Gatwick Airport, apparently. What? Still there? Okay. There's a monorail at Bewley, says Batman Rubin. Monorail at Chicago O'Hare Airport, says Barrett. Well, I know O'Hare, obviously. I've flown in and out of that 50 million times. Monorail in Germany, it hangs under the rail, says Steve McDonald. Cable seat at the Needles on the Isle of Wight. No, that's not a cable car. That is a chairlift. I've done that. One. But yeah, so this is get right. So remember this: chairlifts, cable cars, monorails. Monorail in Viva Las Vegas. Is there a cable car in Scarborough? Questions Diane. But Boaty, you came all the way to Great Yarmouth, excited to go on the monorail, but then when you saw it, you were too scared to even consider it. It wasn't a proper monorail, that's why. I mean, technically it might have been, but it wasn't, no. And on that note, I have caught up on the comments, darlings, and I am going to bid you a good night because I am absolutely shattered. Let me thank you all for your company tonight. And I'm going to whiz through this quickly. I'm genuinely struggling to stay awake. And I really want to eat before I fall asleep at the table. And ideally, I would like to fall asleep in bed and not be so tired that I fall asleep down here. And that has happened before. So, thank you very, very much. I have enjoyed tonight, and I'm just so grateful to you all. Thank you for letting me be part of it. Let me wish you a safe and peaceful night, a good day ahead. Sunday, have a great Sunday. I hope there's some pleasure in it for you. Take care of yourself. Take care of those that you love and who love you, if you're lucky enough to have them. The candle will be relit tomorrow night, earlier, 11 o'clock. Oh, yes. And on that note, much luck from me. I can't wait to see you tomorrow night. Ka-choo! And indeed. Oh, yes. Boss.